Welcome, everybody, to the final round of the Jonesboro Open FPO card. My name is Andi Young, and I am the disc golf consultant, PDGA number 2094. And I've been pioneering disc golf for about 35 years. And I'm sitting here with Sarah Hokom.
Hey everybody, you may know me from a few of the Pro Tour events. In the video coverage, I'll be giving you some insight onto how this round went as a participant myself. So we want to thank Prodiscus, the Pro Tour, Steve Dodge, Terry Miller, Chad, the video guy, and the PDGA.
Yep, and now we're going to get started with this final round, starting on the first hole. The girls are currently, we've got Paige in first place at 8 under, and followed by Kat, who is 2 under at this point, with Sarah with a -1, and then Jen close by with a +1. And here we go, the first hole.
So the conditions out here are pretty cold still. We see Paige is flexing one of her drivers and gets inside the circle for a nice little putt. Mm-hmm. Temperatures are in the mid to high 30s. You'll see everybody in some warm, bundly clothes.
Kat pulls that out a little bit to the right, and it's flexing back in nicely. Nice skip at the end. And here we have Sarah with her famous forehand.
I'm throwing an outlaw here, and I flex it a little bit too far and kind of get lucky through those trees on the left and give myself a circle 2 putt.
And a powerful pull by Jen.
Yeah, it looks like it's about to go in. Oh, and she just misses it, throws it long. One of the few players gets past this pin.
And she goes for the putt and just dings the basket.
Couple other putts inside the circle here. Kat didn't like that release. And we'll see if Paige can convert this birdie.
Stepping out and taking her waggle. And nice putt.
And sneaks it in just at the top of the cage. Now we'll see if Jen can get this birdie. She got this birdie both times in the first 2 rounds, almost aced it both times, but just misses low to convert that birdie.
And they'll tap those in.
That'll round out hole 1. We'll see Paige extending her lead by 1 over Kat, now to 7, and not much action otherwise. We had a nice little group of spectators out there this tournament. Mm-hmm. A few more here in Jonesboro than we did last year. So that was exciting to see the support from the community.
That's encouraging, and especially when you look at the location, and we're starting to see spectators out in more of the rural area tournament courses. So.
And this is about 9 in the morning as well, so people really made an effort to get out and come watch the ladies in the morning. Even as cold as it was. Mm-hmm. All right, now we're at hole 2. We see Paige taking that hyzer.
Through that little window.
It's a bit of a gap, but it's very makeable. That window's pretty short off the tee.
And Kat, pulls it a little wide.
Kat is not happy with that. Kind of continuing to struggle off the tee for the first 2 holes here. I'm throwing the hyzer left side, trying to actually get back to where all of the backhand throwers are getting to, and it gets a nice skip to the right.
And showing us there's another way to go.
And Jen just rips it out there, gives herself good position to get up and down for a birdie. You see Kat trying to recover. Mm-hmm. Throws a good shot. Yeah. Footing is pretty tough there. It is actually quite a bit more elevation than you think. Here I try to go for the flex. I actually missed this. I probably should have thrown the backhand here like my game plan set up, but I didn't. I hit that tree.
There's Paige. On that up shot, you can only see the top. Barely.
Yeah, and she puts herself in good position here. See Kat now throwing her 3rd shot, trying to get up and down to save her par.
Take that skip in there.
And Jen throwing her 2nd shot, also looking to get up and down for a birdie.
Yes, and that looks good, looking at where that flag is.
And unfortunately, I pulled that a little left. Now I'm hoping to save a bogey.
There's Cat.
Cat doesn't give herself a good shot at the birdie, but gets up and down to get that bogey. And this is Jen's birdie putt.
Nice upshot there. Can she convert? Not quite.
And now 2 in a row. She misses low, but no harm. She's still got her par. Unfortunately, Cat does not convert this and goes for and ends up with the double on this hole. Not the way she wanted to start.
And here you go. I'm going to watch the ladies tap out.
And also here I take a bogey, and I struggled on this hole most of the tournament, so hoping a different game plan next year. And meanwhile, on the second card, we actually see Madison Walker going birdie on the first 2 holes, and is now even with myself, Kat, and 1 off of Jen now. So we have kind of an interesting race going here for second place as Paige taps in another birdie and extends her lead to now 10.
And now we are on the third hole.
This third hole is very gettable birdie. It's uphill. The wind plays a little bit tough.
And
Paige puts a nice shot at it. Jen throws the power hyzer.
Stick, but
doesn't quite get it in there as far as she wanted. I'm trying to flex this forehand, but I air it out and don't give it any angle. And I'm just going to settle for par here, trying to get up and down.
And let's see if Kat can bring it back around. And to the edge of the circle. There she goes. Nice approach.
Yeah, a little backhand approach. We'll see Jen trying to convert the birdie. She'll settle for a par as well.
And still dinging the basket.
Kat is just waiting for one of those to drop.
Yep. Which she's capable of doing that.
We'll see if Paige can get her turkey here. She is now birdied the first 2 and looking to extend that to 3.
She does her little practice. Hardly any wind, so.
Yeah, very calm, which is uncharacteristic out here. Very nice. Birdie converts it.
Yeah, the course
this does play the easiest hole on the course this in this round, although there were only 2 birdies today.
The course is pretty open. The terrain is open. The wind kind of sweeps through with the elevation changes. So finding it calm is probably a benefit.
Oh, it's a treat, actually. The combination of that wind and elevation really makes this course challenging, and it really plays different every day because of those conditions. So we see Paige extending her lead again. She is now 11 strokes in front of everyone, and no changes otherwise.
Hole 4.
This is a really tough tee shot. That limb that she nicks right there is really comes into play for a lot of people's shots. You got to throw it low, but then still get the distance. Jen also struggles with the height here. Oh, no, actually, she gets through just fine. Excuse me. She throws a great shot.
And the terrain is fading away from you here.
This one I let go pretty high, but let's see, managed to actually get lucky through those trees. I don't think I deserved that one.
And Catrina. And right under that branch. Nice.
Throws a beautiful shot.
Nice skip around the edge, too.
So the approach shot is going to be a little bit uphill. Paige is probably looking about 400, 420 feet away at this point. Trying to flex it, but she lets it out a little hyzer, and now she is challenging that OB, and it skips over the wall. Oh, man, it could have so easily hit that wall.
Distance accuracy. It plays well into it.
I'm blocked a little bit by this tree that's hanging down, so I kind of have to throw a hyzer out there and try to get up and down from there. Kat has a nice hyzer look to get up and down for a birdie here. It's a nice skip left. We'll see if she can convert that putt.
Let's see what Jen does here.
And Jen's distance, she gets to just throw the hyzer here. She needs it to get down, though. Unfortunately, it also skips over that wall. So we have Paige and Jen out of bounds here. Kat's relaying for the birdie. Paige just has to lay this up. You know, it's right. That's outside circle 2 even.
Right.
So she'll lay that up for a bogey. Now here's Kat's putt for the birdie again. She misses low. She is keeping a good attitude, but she is having some trouble out here today. And see if Jen can convert her par putt here after going out of bounds.
There's one.
Her putt is just looking
putt.
great, nice and confident. She's had a great putting weekend so far. And Paige for her bogey. This hole's a little bit different from last year. And nice and easy, a little high, but she sneaks it in there. Last year, the OB on the left wasn't there, so they've kind of added this. They've moved the placement to the left, and I think it plays quite a bit harder. That far OB is actually inside the circle. So, and it's a slightly sloped downhill, so if you get a little knock off the basket, it could roll you out bounds.
So you've got to make the approach stick, just like right in front of the basket, or else you have the danger of going beyond easily. Okay.
So that was our hole 4. We see Paige losing 1, but she's still got a huge lead. And at this point, she's kind of taking this without anybody giving her any competition for that win. We see Jen kind of airing it out. She really wanted to throw that a little bit softer. She ends up deep OB left. It's just a layup for me.
Nice. Forehand skip. Looking right there.
Should be an easy up and down from there. We also see Kat going for this shot. It is kind of a tight window, and she flexes it a little bit far and ends up OB pretty deep in that water.
Nice try, though.
Yeah, it's a valiant effort to go for it. Now we see Paige going for it as well. She gets the right amount of turn, and she is sitting there deep behind the basket. This one's a tough one. You really have to make choices to lay up or go for the green. The green is pretty far, and not very many players got, I think only maybe 1 birdie on this the whole tournament.
Placement golf is, such an interesting aspect of the game. And if you play it well, then you play well. Get all those up there and under the pin. Jen going a little bit more.
I definitely wanted that a little bit closer to the basket, but it shouldn't be a problem to convert a 20-footer.
Here's Paige on one
Paige, and she decides to kind of lay up here. She doesn't need these strokes, and she kind of had a conservative game plan today with her lead. And that wasn't even close to what I was looking for there, unfortunately.
The wind got
Yeah, I misread it a bit. You can see the flag is moving. And again, Kat is plagued by the low putt. The hand dexterity in this kind of weather makes it really
makes
tough.
A huge difference, yeah.
So the
You
precision
can't feel your
is
fingertips, and it just comes off wrong. I'll line up and putt out.
Yeah, and that's going to be a double for Kat, a single bogey for me, a double bogey for Jen. This was just a really tough hole for all of us today, except for Paige. Who got that nice little layup shot. So this is the island hole, and this has traditionally been a really tough hole.
And that's uncharacteristic for Paige.
Right. In practice, this hole seems very easy, but somehow in the tournament, it's hard to get on that green.
Well, that 2-minute warning changes everything.
Certainly does.
Nice strong backhand. Will it hold the line? Little air bouncing going on there.
And
she uses the backdrop.
Hits the fence. We'll see if she can convert that putt. And Kat actually catches that branch right off the tee, and
unfortunate.
And it turns her disc over. So they'll be throwing from the drop zone, which is about 200 feet over the water. It's got a nice. There is a slope on that green, so you can kind of attack the shot a little
Let
bit
it
more.
slide up there for you.
See if Kat can get this one. And it hits the fence, unfortunately, that little grip 6 fence. And she just sneaks it on there. Man, after that double bogey, she's going to want to convert this putt.
There.
And she sure does.
Good putt.
And I'm trying to convert this little putt also, and just can't get it to fall. I'm not really happy about that. And now Jen, she has missed a few low today already. So we're all kind of plagued with putting issues in this round.
A little bit there.
We joked earlier about how we should put on a putting clinic because our putting was so terrible, facetiously.
Yes. Some rounds you just
it seemed contagious out there.
Yeah, I bet with those conditions. Who would have thought winter in April?
I would reckon that with the combination of the elevation, the wind, the cold, I would guess the putting statistics were a little bit low for everybody this weekend.
Sure. And now we are going to watch a wonderful little commercial from Dynamic Discs, and thank you so much for the support of women's disc golf.
So this next hole is a huge par 4. You got to get as far as you can off the tee. I throw a little turnover here. And now we see Jen using her strength and distance, pumping it out there with a really nice shot.
Right behind the tree.
There's typically an interesting wind here. It's been swirly. Once you get up to the top of the hill, it's often a headwind, but off the tee, it feels like a cross tailwind.
Okay, so you really have to be aware of what's going on up on top of that ridge, or else you might pull your disc over.
Everybody throws pretty decent tee shots here. It's all about the second shot, trying to get as close to the pin. I threw this how I wanted. I don't quite have the distance to get to this one for a birdie, so I'm going to try to play for par.
Which is smart.
And Kat definitely has the distance to get here. She throws a turnover. It's nice. But then it does just kind of hyzer out at the end. But she'll have an easy look to get up and down.
There's Jen with a powerful release on that one.
Getting herself just at the circle's edge, hoping to convert that putt. And then Paige, last to throw because of the distance off the tee. She kind of turns that over.
Flip it over.
She's
Just a little,
got some work to do. Throwing a simple approach, just trying to get close to the basket. And Kat's doing the same. She kind of gave it a little run there.
Yes, she did. And here comes Paige running at it.
Paige makes those all the time. So, I think it's really those circle 2 putts were tough today with those, the cold. And same with Jen. We're just not dialed in on the putting. But, we have those days.
Absolutely.
And then some days you'll see, Paige knock down 3 or 4 from outside the circle.
So putting her hands in her pockets.
Yeah.
You guys know it's cold out there.
Sure is.
Thinking about that putt.
Yeah, I've missed so many already. And this hole, it plays pretty tough. Nobody got a birdie on it this round. And a few bogeys. And really only Paige and Jen were available for the circle 2. So that one's a tough one for the ladies. They might consider moving that tee or something next year, make it a little bit better score separation. They actually did, I think there's 11 tees baskets, or pars that were playing a little bit different. So not a lot of movement there, or none actually. And we see Paige is still in the lead, and really the race is for second place right now.
At this point.
This is a really good sidearm hole, and I just kind of turn this over a little bit and leave myself outside the circle 2. But this is really tough. It's uphill. You have to have a late turn. She's trying to throw this really wide and then have it come back in, and she puts herself just inside the circle. Traditionally, this is a really tough hole also because you have a headwind, and you don't feel the headwind until maybe 150, 200 feet off the fairway. So you're going to catch a slightly different throw here.
Didn't I hear the men reference this as being there's a bear or something in those woods?
Those woods are tough to get out of.
Yeah, that is a very tough line for backhand thrower to air that out and have it fadely soft.
Yeah,
fall in softly to the right,
especially with that headwind. So, and then the elevated basket, you got to kind of make decisions. Here's Paige trying to get through these woods. Man, I have been in those woods, and she did a great job getting out in one.
It looks like one of those 100-foot wide trees that they talk about.
Yeah.
Jonesboro.
Yeah. See if Jen can make this putt, and she does.
Nicely done. There's nice elevated barrels.
Paige scrambles for that par. She struggled on this hole in the first round, and with the putting. So it was. I'm sure she's really happy to convert that with just the 3.
And now we're moving on to the final hole of the first 9. We've got Paige still out in the lead, and the race for second is on. There's Jen.
This is a really great shot by Jen. She just laces the fairway, gives it a little turn, but not too much because those right side trees are going to give you trouble. There's quite a bit of elevation here as well, which makes it challenging. And this is what I was looking for.
Too.
Yeah. Throwing an outlaw there, a little flex on it.
That looks like a really fun hole to throw.
It sure is, throwing downhill off the tee. And then the second shot we're going to see is an uphill, kind of a push hyzer to a really difficult green.
And
Kat also throws a great shot. Everybody has great tee shots on this hole. Got to kind of get it up and over the hill, but then it's still got to travel forward to give yourself a look at birdie. And the green is really sloped here. So if you are in kind of short of the basket, you have a death putt. And then beyond the basket, you have a rollaway into a lake or a pond. So this is very treacherous. It plays as a par 5 for the ladies.
Okay.
But I did see an eagle from, I believe, Kona and Paige got this one.
Nice.
Earlier in the weekend. These all look like pretty good runs. But they're all going to kind of come up short.
Oh,
so we're throwing a tricky approach here. I'm hoping it settles.
Sticks.
It's a downhill lie, and it tends to roll away on that angle. So Kat,
softly done.
and she throws it a little hot too, so she's going to have that putt to convert her birdie. We're all kind of here.
There we go.
Getting there for the birdie. Jen throws a great little shot. And Paige lays it up as she should. She's outside circle 1. And Kat gets one to fall.
Putt.
Birdie. It's our first birdie of the day. She's really recovered well after having so much trouble on this front.
And the conversion by Jen.
And a couple little more tap in time, in the words of Madison and Paige.
We all like those,
Oh,
especially
yes.
when we're about to hit our heads.
And I take my time as usual. And that would also be my first birdie for the day. So I'm happy to get that one. So this plays a little bit soft as a par 5. But also to get the 3, like I said, only a couple 3s happened this whole tournament to get that eagle. So I think it plays fine as it's slightly a tweener hole. But
Yeah.
So here we see everybody birdies the hole. So join us on the back 9.